Today I will discuss all pass filters. In my previous videos, we have discussed different first and second order filters, and there we have seen that some part of the frequency component is attenuated by the filter and the rest of the part is allowed to pass. But an all pass filter passes all the frequency components of the input signal without any attenuation and provides desired phase shift at different frequencies of the input signal. So what is the use of this filter as it is passing all the frequency components? These filters are used in the transmission lines, such as telephone wires. When the input signals are transmitted on those transmission lines, they undergo a change in the phase. So to compensate for that phase change, we use these all pass filters. And that's why they are also called as delay equalizers or phase correctors. Now this is the diagram or the circuit of the all pass filter. There we can see an op-amp is connected with a negative feedback and an input signal Vin is applied to both inverting and the non-inverting terminal. So let's find the transfer function of this all pass filter, and from the transfer function we will derive the magnitude and the phase of this filter. So to derive the transfer function, we will find the value of V output by V input as we have done in the earlier filters. So to derive the value of V output by V input, let's find the value of V output. But here the input signal is Vin is applied to both inverting and non-inverting. So we will obtain the output voltage using the superposition theorem. So let's apply superposition theorem over here. And in the case 1, we will take only input signal to the inverting terminal and we will ground the non-inverting input. So this will be my diagram. And I have assumed here my output voltage is equal to V01. Now if you look here, it is connected to ground, so no impact of this on the inverting and non-inverting terminal, and it is simply an inverting configuration. So the output of the inverting configuration is minus RF by R1 of Vin. Here I have assumed the value of RF is equal to R1, so I can directly say that my V01 is equal to minus of Vin because RF is equal to R1. Now in the second case, I will assume my input signal at the non-inverting terminal and I will ground my inverting terminal. So my diagram will be this. In this, my output voltage V02 will be 1 plus RF by R1, that is gain, into the voltage at the non-inverting terminal. I have assumed this voltage as VA. And you know that VA is nothing but the voltage across this capacitor. So from here I can say that VA is equal to minus JXC upon R minus JXC of V input signal. Now, while combining these two signals, I will get the relation from the superposition theorem. I can say that my output voltage must be equal to V01 plus V02. V01 is minus RF by R1 of Vin. I have not taken here RF equal to R1. I will do it later. And my V02 will be 1 plus RF by R1 of VA, where VA is nothing but minus JXC upon R minus JXC of Vin. Now I will put the value of RF equal to R1 and minus JXC as 1 by J2 pi FC, as we have done in the earlier filters. Similarly, over here I will put these values and I will get the relation V0 equal to Vin. It is minus 1 plus 2 upon 1 plus J2 pi F RC. Now by taking the LCM and rearranging the terms, I will get V output by V input is equal to 1 minus J2 pi FRC upon 1 plus J2 pi FRC. Now let's take the magnitude of this. When I find the magnitude, I got my magnitude of V output by V input is equal to under root of 1 plus 2 pi FRC whole square divided by under root of 1 plus 2 pi FRC whole square. And if I see here, these two is nothing but same, so my magnitude or the transfer function or the magnitude of the gain is equal to 1. Or from there I can say my V output is equal to V in. It means whatever input I am applying over here, that input is available at my output without any attenuation or gain. Now let's discuss second one is the phase shift. As my transfer function V output by V input is equal to 1 minus J2 pi FRC upon 1 plus J2 pi FRC, I will find the phase shift over here. Now to discuss the phase shift, I want to once again remind you how to find the phase. Phase is nothing but tangent inverse of imaginary term upon the real term. For example, if my z is equal to x plus iota y, my phase will be tangent inverse of imaginary term is y and real term is x, so it is tangent inverse of y by x. Now when I will talk about z is equal to x minus iota y, if I talk of x minus iota y, it is x, it is y, iota y, then this is my first quadrant where both these are positive. X is also positive and y is also positive. But here I am having real term positive but imaginary term negative. It means I am talking here about the fourth quadrant where x is positive and y is negative. So over here you know that when we move in anti-clockwise, then this tangent, or when I am taking this anti-clockwise, this is my first quadrant, this is second quadrant, this is third, and this is fourth. Then I am taking the angle in anti-clockwise direction, then it is considered positive in the first quadrant. And when I am reaching to the fourth quadrant, either I can add 270 into it or I can go anti-clockwise, but my value must be negative. So similarly, I can say that my tangent inverse of minus y by x is nothing but minus tangent inverse of y by x. So my phase will be this one. In the third case, if my z is equal to 1 upon x plus iota y, then the numerator phase is 0 but the denominator phase is tangent inverse of y by x. So when I take the denominator phase into consideration, I take minus tangent inverse of y by x. So by using these terms, I can conclude over here that my phase of this numerator is nothing but minus tangent inverse of imaginary term is 2 pi frc divided by 1. And in the denominator I am having 1 plus j 2 pi frc. It means this phase will be, you have already seen here in the denominator when I am having x plus iota y term, then in the total phase will be minus tangent inverse of y by x. So over here my phase will be minus tangent inverse of 2 pi frc. So my total phase will be minus 2 tangent inverse of 2 pi frc. Now if we look here, if I put the value of f in this, f is equal to 0, my phase will be equal to 0. And if I put f equal to infinity, my phase will be minus 180 degree, because tangent inverse of infinity is 90 degree, minus 2 with 90, it means it is minus 180 degree. It means that I can obtain a phase shift using this circuit from 0 to minus 180 degree. And to obtain the phase shift from 0 to plus 180 degree, I will simply replace my R and C pairs. R will be over here and then C will be over here. With that, I can obtain the phase shift from 0 to plus 180 degree. But with this combination, my phase will be from 0 to minus 180 degree. And this is the phase response of the signals. My input signal is shown over here with the bold line, and my output signal is here with the phase shift of 90 degree. So it is shown over here with the dotted line. But you can see here the amplitude is same all over. So there is no change in the amplitude of the input and output, only phase is varied. So thank you very much.